Well, so we're back at it again. Today we're going to discuss Tampa Bay versus the Vikings, Tennessee versus the Saints, uh, Dolphins versus Chargers, and then Commanders versus the Cardinals, and the Bills versus the Jets. So I'm not going to be going that much in depth because I gotta cover more teams, and I don't want this video to be extremely long. Mainly because I don't know, I get caught in mouth when I talk a lot. But I'm gonna do my best to summarize the game as fast as possible, but with detail. So that's gonna be a little tricky. Excuse me. But let's go over the Tampa Bay versus the Vikings. I felt like the Vikings gave that game away. They had a chance to pull away in the second quarter. I believe they're up 10-3 with the ball. They end up throwing a turnover or having a turnover, and I just felt like they gave the game away. I didn't like I didn't like that personally because they're supposed to compete for the NFC North against the Lions, who ended up winning Thursday night against the Chiefs. So they're up in that division along with the Packers, who Packers look decent. So now you got the Vikings at like the third spot, and that's not good. It's only week one. Justin Jefferson did his thing first half. Second half, he only had like 10 yards. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense adjusted halftime, and they shut him down. They figured if we can shut him down, it's gonna be hard for Jordan Addison, Alexander Madison, and T.J. Hawkinson. They're gonna beat us with those three guys, but not Justin. They adjusted really well. Justin Jefferson helped Jordan Addison in the first half to score his first touchdown as an NFL rookie. But other than that, Kirk Cousins was late on some passes. He was late on a two minute drive, 2 minute drill, however you want to call it. He was late on a pass, ended up being an interception. They could have ended points with. I mean, they could have ended the half with points. That was not the case. Baker Mayfield looked solid. Bucs offense struggled a little bit, but once they started finding Chris and Mike Evans, they were moving the ball pretty effectively. So that was a game the Vikings let slip away, in my opinion. Buccaneers went in there and took it. So hats off to them. They ended up playing better. I mean, 3-4 turnovers. The defense came out to play. So either the Vikings let it slip away or the Bucs took that game away. So overall, that was a decent game to watch. An upsets are always fun to watch. So hats off to the Bucs. Let's go over the Tennessee Titans versus New Orleans Saints. I'm a defensive guy. I don't feel like this was a defensive game, even though it was a low-scoring game. Yeah, I just don't. Derek Carr has all this potential, but he has all this potential, but he doesn't live up to it. And I know Mike Vrabel usually has his Tennessee Titans defenders playing at a high level, so. But you have Chris Olave. They don't have Alvin Kamara as he's suspended. They have Williams until Alvin Kamara comes back from suspension. But he's mainly like a goal line back. He's very solid though when he is in short yardage situations. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill too. Speaking of like quarterbacks of Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill is not the move. Now Saints aren't no sleeper defense either. Like they'll have their games where they look like elite Super Bowl contenders, and then other games they'll look like average defenses. And I'm having a hard time decide which one it is for this game. Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore against DeAndre Hopkins pretty much all game. I want to say Lattimore won that game as Hopkins was ineffective. That's just a hard matchup too. Because if Hopkins is with a better quarterback, does he end up winning that matchup to put Hopkins in better spots to win those one-on-one battles? Lattimore ended up with the interception against DeAndre Hopkins, but let me tell you, it wasn't double coverage, so I don't know why Ryan threw it. He just like, DeAndre's up there somewhere, let me chuck it. Yeah, the play calling was bad for Tennessee too. I noticed they were trying to pass on first down. You know who your running back is? Just hand the ball off. Hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. He had a nasty stiff arm. It's a joy to watch Derrick Henry. It's just unfortunate the team he's on. But it's a joy to watch Derrick Henry run the ball. He's like 6'4", 250, and can run too. Shifty. He's like the ultimate back that you want on your team. But other than that, Derek Carr hit some decent passes. That game, I couldn't wrap my hands around on what either team was. Either the quarterback play is not up to par like it should be, or the defenses are that good. So, as the year goes on and progresses, I will see that if the defenses are real. But as of right now, it's week 1. Maybe I expected more from this game. That's probably what it is. I was expecting more, a little bit more high scoring. I thought they were going to use Ryan Tannehill as a game manager. But it just felt like they wanted to use him like to control the game. And that's not what Ryan Tannehill's game is. So, Saints ended up winning that game. Derek Carr with a huge dot to, I don't even know his name. I'm drawing a blank right now. But he ended up throwing a huge dot to pretty much close out the game, put the final nail in the coffin, and Saints ended up winning. I need a sip of water bad. All right, now let's go over the Cardinals against the Commanders. This game was interesting. Because when I watched the Cardinals, as I expect them to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, so I'm not really dissecting this Arizona team for I'm not dissecting them to see if they're going to be a wild card team in the NFC. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm looking at the Cardinals team to see what pieces they have to go forward, as they have a new head coach in Gannon, who came from the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the defensive coordinator. So what I saw was they still have penalty issues on offense and defense. Every time the Arizona Cardinals would get a good play, it seemed like it would be holding. So it'd be 1st and 20 again. Like almost every time it seemed like that happened. On defense, every time you think you would get a stop, it would end up being like defensive holding. Or just illegal contact downfield. And they would allow a first down. But if it wasn't for those penalties, I would say they did pretty well. But obviously, you got to clean up those penalties, as they were the worst holding team in the league last year. So you have to adjust. You have to adjust that. I don't know how you do that. Maybe make them run more sprints in practice. Maybe just the players, they're not as good. So I don't know how you would fix that. Because I think it's Dobbs. I don't even know his name. I don't know his name because I know Kyler Murray should be back. So once he's back, he'll be the starter. They have some weapons over there too. Rondale Moore, Hollywood Brown, James Conner, and Zach Ertz. So they have some weapons. Just the quarterback's not there. The defense played solid. Excuse me. I believe it's number. Well, before I get to that, I just want to say Gannon knows his personnel and knows his defense. I'm gonna show a clip right now where I guess that guy played linebacker in his college days, and Gannon was aware of that, so he made him look like he was gonna blitz. He ended up dropping him back, and he's aware of his spacing because he was a college linebacker. So he ended up getting an interception. So that was a beautiful play call. I love seeing plays like that. So Gannon, Cardinals may have a future. It might be 2-3 years from now. It's not going to be next year, but 2-3 years from now, if they keep going the way they played Sunday, they could be good. They could be good. It just all depends on obviously how Kyler Murray does also, but defensive wise, they should be good. Sam Howell did pretty decent. Had some good pocket presence. That O-line is kind of like a little bit above average, but a little under average. So I don't know what that median level would be, but they're okay. When I look at the Washington Commanders, I still notice that their main part of the team is that defensive line, which they kind of gave that offensive line kind of fits. They made them hold a lot. They made the quarterback scramble a lot too. Not very many big running lanes. So hats off to that defensive line. Washington ended up coming out with the win with Sam Howell's second start, which he looked pretty decent too. As long as he has the pocket, he's going to get the ball there, but it's when pressure gets there, he struggled a little bit in my opinion. Eric Bieniemy, who came from the Kansas City Chiefs, is now the offensive coordinator and the play caller for them. So he was aggressive. And somehow he has a gunslinger mentality. He forced some balls in there that were close to being interceptions, but he just has that confidence to throw that ball. I felt like they gotta include I believe his name is Brian Robinson, the running back. Get him a little bit more involved. That might open up the passing game. But Eric Bieniemy is he's a pass first guy, so Brian Robinson maybe he should be a good part in that offense, but I don't think he'll be as good as he should be. But the Commanders ended up winning that game. Close game, though. Close game. That was an interesting, fun game to watch because both teams are supposed to have decent futures, especially if Sam Howell ends up being good like Ron Rivera has been saying. Right, so now we're going to talk about the Bills-Jets game. This was supposed to be very, very good game. I mean, at the end, it turned out to be a solid game. It did go into overtime. Jets stopped the Bills, and the Bills got the ball in overtime first. They ended up stopping them, and they did a punt return for a touchdown. So that was sweet to see. Obviously, the main headline is Aaron Rodgers out for the year, which is a big, big bummer. You just on paper, the Jets look like a team that can go deep into the playoffs. Not just into the playoffs, but I'm talking about minimum AFC championship to go up against the Bengals or the Chiefs. I'm not saying the Bills because as of late, Josh Allen has been struggling. He's like a turnover machine. I have no clue why. I don't know if he's trying to do much. I don't know what's going on with Allen, but he's not playing the way he's supposed to be or the way he's getting hyped up. Just too many turnovers. He had 3 interceptions to, I think his name is Whitehead, number 3 for the Jets. It's been, it's today's Thursday, so since Monday, so it's been a few days, but I believe it's Whitehead he threw those interceptions to. Like, I don't know, Josh, like, I'm kind of along with Stephon Diggs. Be smart. You can't be forcing it. You can't. I have no clue what's going on with Josh. Saw somewhere where the last 5 games he had a little bit worse stats than Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson is a below average quarterback as of right now. So I don't know what's going on with Josh. Maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe it's just a little off-season rust. But that was a very good defensive game from the Jets. I'm not going to take nothing away from them. So I should lean off a little bit on Josh Allen also because he played a very tough Jets defense. But Josh, I expect more from you. I expect more from you. Without Aaron Rodgers too, you're supposed to lead that team and I don't want to say blowout because he struggles against the Jets, but that should be a pretty easy win. Like a minimum, you score at least 24 points, maybe, because your defense is good as not as good as the Jets, but your defense is good, at least top 7, top 5. So you should easily have 24 points and keep their defense on the field, get them tired week 1, and set the tone for the rest of the year. But now everybody's questioning your skill set when you have the skills there. So really unfortunate for the Jets though. That's just a real drag. Garrett Wilson's supposed to have a huge year. Alan Lazard gets there. Randall Cobb, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall. Breece Hall looked amazing. He looked amazing for his first game back from tearing his ACL last year. I thought he had no issues. I think he should have had a touchdown, but he got gassed. That could lead to a lot of things. That could be maybe him not running as hard, which I doubt, because he was making some good cuts. So I think he just got tired. It's week 1. You're not in football shape really. But man, Jets ended up coming with the win. Huge stop in overtime. Big win for the Jets. Now it's up to Wilson. Does the Jets look for another quarterback? Maybe call Rivers. I wouldn't say Big Ben. Well, I don't know I have no clue what they're gonna do. Yeah, but hats off to the Jets. Big division game. So they ended up with the win. So if Wilson can somehow turn things around, maybe Jets are something. Maybe Jets are something if Wilson can turn it around. So that's a big if. Big if. All right, so to conclude NFL Week 1, the NFL recap, NFL reaction, I'm going to end it off with the Chargers against the Miami Dolphins. If you're an offensive guy, this was the game for you. Big plays after big plays. Neither team really couldn't get stops. It felt like they couldn't even stop a nosebleed. Like, there were huge plays going on this game. Phenomenal throws from both quarterbacks. Tua, who impressed me. I know he's a solid quarterback when he plays, but for big-time throws he was doing, I was not expecting that. Justin Herbert as well. He was playing to another level, which he should have last year. So maybe this is his leap finally. I believe it's his contract year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, both quarterbacks, big throws. I love how the Miami Dolphins were using Tyreek Hill. They were motioning him a lot to give him different looks. That way he's not pressed maybe. Get the defense confused because you got to keep an eye on him at all times. But at the same time, if you do that, if you always watch Tyreek Hill, you have Waddle, who's another speed demon they have. So, and then you have Raheem Mostert, who's a decent back, especially behind Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It's always going to be there's never going to be a heavy set box. It's just a really a fun game to watch because all these big throws. It was a little not frustrating, but after a while you just think, is somebody going to get a stop? Someone has to get a stop. Then you start thinking, the team with the ball last wins. That's how this game felt like, because neither team could not buy a stop. They couldn't buy a stop. The big plays for me that happened, which was really, really crucial in this game, was the C.J. Jackson pass interference to end the half. That cannot happen. Tua just chucked it up to, I believe, Tyreek Hill. And just a horrible pass interference that led to a Miami Dolphins, that led to a field goal, which it never should have been a field goal. It should have been Justin Herbert with the last points in the half, because Justin Herbert he threw some nice big time throws to keep that drive going to end the first half. So Chargers, or I want to say C.J. Jackson, be more disciplined. Like, there was no need to push him to have pass interference. Just a bad penalty right there. And playoff teams don't do that. They don't hurt themselves. So to see that, I don't know what to call it. Like, you put yourself in good position. Like, there's no need to actually do that. And because you did it, you cost the team you cost the team the game. You only lost by 2. You don't do that pass interference, guess what? Your team wins. Right? I mean, I'm just kind of like not technically speaking, I'm just kind of speaking. Like, if everything went the way it did, then I would say that the Chargers win that game. But because of that penalty that C.J. Jackson did, you ended up losing by 2. So those 3 points that you let happen before second half, the end of the first half, ended up being big. Only 3 points, but 3 points are big in a game where there's really no defense. You got to be a bit more disciplined. But man, Tua has some dimes this game. There was one instance he was rolling left. He's a lefty quarterback, so this benefits him. It was like third and 8 or more, and he threw a laser, beautiful pass. I was like, dang, he came out to play. I was impressed. And then he had a bomb to Tyreek Hill. He like stepped up in the pocket, left-handed quarterback, boom, beautiful play, beautiful bomb, way to step up in that pocket. It's just bad defense from the safety. I don't know why he was all the way to the left. Like, at least be a little bit more in the middle. Just a bad play from that safety. But beautiful bomb, beautiful dime. Way to read that defense and chuck it to Tyreek Hill. He didn't chuck it. It was a dime. And then later on, that same drive, I mean, this is an elite pass right here. Just look at it. Look at the pass. If it's a hair too high, a hair too low, or whatever, it might be incomplete. It fell right in the basket. Beautiful pass. There can't be any better ball placement than right there. This is a beautiful dime. Like I said, this game was all about quarterbacks making big time throws in big time situations. And there was just a good quarterback play. And then finally, the Miami defense stepped up when they needed to. Then they ended up dialing some blitzes on Justin Herbert. Want to get in an intentional grounding, so I made it like 2nd and 15-ish. And then the next play, they ended up with the sack. So Miami defense, with new defensive coordinator Big Banjo, finally ended up getting some stops. So I was like, dang, okay, you step up when you needed to. And Miami Dolphins, if they can keep this up and then the playoff run or in the playoffs, they could win the division. They have a high chance as long as everybody stays healthy. They have a good chance of winning that division. You win that division, you get Jalen Ramsey back. Oh, man, watch out. Because I don't see that offense being slowed down anytime soon. The way they use Hill and Waddle, man. Fun offense to watch. Defense surprisingly didn't do good. Excuse me. They surprisingly didn't do good, but I expect that. I don't expect, but that's probably because the Chargers' offense are good when they have other weapons as well. So, Austin Eckler ended up with a huge run too. Beautiful open lane that the offensive line gave him. That was his longest run. I think he ended up getting hurt that game. I think he has an ankle injury. I don't remember him missing time. But other than that, Justin Herbert with his weapons is a really good quarterback. Tua and his weapons, they match up perfectly. So Dolphins have a chance to win that division. It's only week 1. I'm trying not to overreact. It's supposed to be the Bills division. But if Allen keeps struggling, Miami could take that division, or the sleeper team, New England Patriots, especially if Mac Jones played the way he did. But that's a little bit more off topic. Sorry. But that's going to conclude this video. I couldn't get in depth of most teams because I had to cover more. So down below in the comments, if you want me to go over more games in depth and show more clips, please let me know. Or if what I was doing was fine and okay, I'm fine with that too. But comment down below what you guys would like to see more, and I'll try to implement that into my videos. As long as you guys are enjoying it, like I'm enjoying it already. So just comment down below if you're enjoying the video, like and subscribe, and that's it. Peace. Have a good one. It's Thursday night game. I'll probably upload the Eagles-Vikings game Friday or Saturday. Like I said, hit that bell to get notified when I post. So when I post, you see it. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. And enjoy NFL Week 2. It's coming soon. Coming real soon, baby.